Welcome to the second module. We're going to be talking about critical thinking today, and just like reading and writing, critical thinking is a part of this recursive process. Whenever you analyze a problem, a topic, or a complex situation, you can use these three skills to help you reach a logical conclusion. We also use it as we write. So when we think, we are using higher level skills such as analysis, synthesis, evaluation, and reflection to help us process information. Now our textbook does a nice job of defining these terms, so we're going to move on to reading. Now we already learned in chapter 2 that when we read, we're interacting with the author's message to construct our own interpretation of the text. We also have to evaluate our sources and think about how they apply to the situation at hand. Now, if you think about reading critically, over here in this column, there are some wonderful questions that you can ask yourself to evaluate the credibility of what you are reading. Is it relevant? How is it relevant to your purpose? Is it reliable? Does the person know what they're talking about? Are they using rigorous standards as far as research and academic scholarship goes? How current is it? Is it have enough complexity and strength and different elements to be sufficient enough to back up what they say? And does the writer make a credible case, or is there some bias that you have to take into account? Now, we can use writing to help us present all of our thinking and critical reading of a topic too. In chapter 3, you will learn about the different types of evidence writers use to create a logical argument, and 3 ways to appeal to your audience's emotions, logic, and how to establish credibility. And these are the different types of evidence that you're going to be learning about in more detail in chapter 3. Now, once you learn about those different types of evidences, you can use that to help you back up specific claims in your paper. And you are going to be making specific claims as an academic writer in this class and beyond. So it's important to just take a look at these slides briefly, and you can come back to them later, but anytime you introduce a topic, you can use a fact or a statistic to kind of help people realize the scope of the problem. When you describe a situation, you can use an illustration or an example to help you. When you introduce an event, you can provide a first-hand account of what actually happened. When you present the problem, you can give an expert testimony or, again, a first-hand account of how urgent the situation is. As you explain an issue, facts and details are very important to help you clarify the significance of the issue. When you state a point, you can use facts, statistics, examples to support your view. And when you interpret the evidence, you can again use examples and research findings to help you develop your case. And as you conclude with a specific recommendation, evaluation, projections for the future, again, your evidence, you can pull that in to help persuade your readers that your conclusion is a valid one. Now, that's just a very quick and dirty run through of what you are going to see in chapter 3 and how you are going to be using it as a writer in this class. As you read chapter 3, I would like you to think of examples of critical thinking that you've seen, as well as different types of evidence that you're going to be learning about. The 3 appeals to logic, emotion, and credibility are very important, and we are going to be looking at a really nice example of that in an essay about Native rights. And also, they're going to be presenting you with some wonderful logical patterns as far as deductive reasoning, inductive reasoning, comparing and contrasting, discussing cause and effect, and how you stack your evidence. Do you go from the most persuasive, or do you start with the least persuasive and build up? So there's lots of different ways that you can logically present your evidence. So be on the lookout for that in Chapter 3.